We need to be overtime to get some video going.
Would you all join me in the pledge, please? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You do all right, bud?
You guys are, I'd say you've got it down.
Well, they catch me up.
I gotta remember where it is.
Okay, gentlemen, Carl's on his way. Is there any public comment today? Try to do it in order this time.
Okay.
Gary, you're red.
Yeah.
John Q.
Hearing none. Till Carl gets here, we'll go around the table and then we'll go into closed session as soon as Carl gets here. Okay? Go ahead, Andy. You have anything?
I got someone who's called me from, this is just from Dudley, and has complained.
People out there?
There's people out there. I took
Yeah, I know
it. I
that.
don't know if anybody's been to Dudley, but
Yeah.
there's one area that's really pretty bad.
In what respect?
Cars, trucks, bikes, motorcycles.
On the highways?
All, not on the highway, but all just strung along, and she wanted to know if there's any kind of, anything you can do to help get this cleaned up, and it's pretty bad, I'll have to admit.
I still don't understand. Is there junk? I mean,
It's just junk in it. Is it a health hazard? I don't know, it could be.
is it
You know,
a
grown up
private
weeds, it's private property.
property? Okay.
Does Dudley have do they have a village board or anything that anybody's aware of? I haven't. I know Grand, do you know?
Dudley don't have anything.
Dudley doesn't have.
We don't have any authority over that, do
No,
we?
we don't.
Yeah, that's
The
what I
lady
told
on
her.
Lower, she's still,
Yeah,
she's-
Wood Street.
she's getting a lot better. She's
Wood
got
Street.
her-
I know a
Different
guy,
city,
I
different
know a
ball.
guy that takes care of stray cats and mows the occasional lot.
Found out that.
He might be interested in taking on another case. He didn't even hear me, so.
I told her, I said, I don't think that there's anything we can do that, from our standpoint, because we don't have zoning, we don't have any ability to do anything like that, but
Yeah, the
I
only
told her I
reason
would bring
we
it up.
were able to do that one is because it encroached on the right of way. And so we,
The one out on Lower Key,
yeah,
yeah, you need to watch her too.
I know. But,
She's called back out there.
Encroaching.
Remember how much research?
oh,
we
yeah,
done on
we
that?
tried to see
Can't
what
touch
we,
it. You can't
You
touch it.
can't do anything
I know,
about it.
but I wanted to tell her that I understand, and it's pretty bad, but
Carl,
all right,
do they have?
Stuck in the mud this morning,
Do they
Carl?
have, since they
Get
are
stuck in the mud this
Dudley, do
morning?
they have the ability to have
No, I
a
was all on concrete.
town?
I didn't have any
I
trouble.
That's not what
imagine
they-
that,
I would think
I don't
they-
know whether it's probably unincorporated, isn't Dudley? Jeff?
out here, 6 miles, you go this way. It's on,
Somebody
About 3 houses.
I mean, Grandview has the,
Yeah,
Grandview
it's
have a
west. There's, it's
governmental
called the
entity.
Dudley Road.
They don't either.
If you go out
I guess I
toward
understood.
Redmond.
I know
They
We
don't.
don't have any conversation to go.
Anyway,
It's
I
right
told her I would bring it up and
133
see
and
what,
16.
Has she tried the health department? I know,
That's my grandparents
I
was
mean,
born.
if there's an infestation of anything due to these vehicles and trash, that would be the only thing I could tell.
that's kind of what I told her. I said, the only thing is if it's a health,
I don't know.
We're talking about out by,
Township
you
down
know
there
where
have
we,
anything?
okay.
By Dudley, there's a
We're
place
talking
out by
about Dudley.
that's got all kinds of junk cars and trash and whatever.
I've been through there.
Well, I can picture, I just can't think who it belongs to. Or I can picture what I think they're probably talking about,
Well, it's the second road,
as you're going off of 16.
16, you know, the first one, then you
Mhm.
got that second
Yeah,
road. you're
take a
right.
left,
I
yeah.
mean, there is,
Where Lowry's used to
Well, that's
be.
what I'm thinking.
And it hasn't spilled out into a highway, it's not even on.
Well, it's a,
It kind of does.
Well, I'm
There's
just saying,
wheelers and stuff.
well, I mean, it's a block off the blacktop that runs through town, but it's, I just through there a while back and I can't,
Well, the basic situation, we don't have any authority over that.
No, we don't.
I can't even get people to not park in the bus parking only when I'm at school. They can park there if they want, the police won't do anything about it. I call them, they said that it's private property. So now what I do is I pull up beside them so they can't get out. That really pisses
I
me
went
off.
through the health department on people
always
peeing
get
out of the
naked.
water thing, and they really didn't have much.
Right, unless there's
I don't know
a
what you do about that.
family of rats living.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Well, remember we passed a nuisance ordinance or nuisance something a few years back.
We did.
And I don't remember the details.
I
what
don't
it-
either.
But what are the steps you go through to,
And they have
enforce that?
someone assigned
Health
to
department?
that. back
But
at
that was
time.
that was a health
Health
department.
department,
Right.
yes.
Nuisance ordinance.
Yeah, you might talk to Janet and see what she, at least go through I've checked here, I've checked there, and you might talk to Dirk also to make sure that none of it's a block off the highway though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not really a county
It's not
road.
county, it'd be
Township.
It's township. Okay. I told her I'll look into it. I said, I really don't think there's much from a county standpoint that we could do, because we've kind of run into that before.
But she could, she might talk to, if she knows the road commissioner, if it's out in the road a little bit, you might
They
be
go
able
back
to
and
put
forth
some
across. It's
pressure. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud.
I mean, there's a state law as far as trash, if it's blowing on other people's property, there's something, it don't amount to anything, but there is something on the books
Most of the
that take
stuff's
care of
had
that.
Yeah,
Well,
junk car or
that's what we had this
something.
weekend, maybe,
Yeah,
a couple
we can wait for the
campers and SUVs, and there's a little bit of everything.
market
there.
value of
Old
scrap metal
trailers.
to go sky high, and then people maybe clear that out for us.
yeah, metal, so, metal.
Anyway,
Anything else that you
Now
have
you're
at this
promoting
point?
another war.
Let's
I haven't
go
heard back
finish.
from the guys that did the study yet, but we do need to get together, you and John, after the tour, for a tour, and just work on some things that we need to look at, so,
Make sure you post that good,
okay,
okay?
that's it,
Yeah, I'm pretty easy time-wise.
okay.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to go into closed session for negotiations, contract, personnel, anything else? Does that catch everything, Augie?
Personnel, negotiations.
Contract,
Contract, I think that's it.
all right. Do I hear a motion for that? Andy moves,
Section.
Derek seconds, and Sheriff, would you stay, because it does affect you? I've let Gary know that we were gonna do that because of time constraints on certain of our fellow board members, so all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. We'll be in closed session for a little while, hopefully a reasonable amount of time, Gary. Thanks for closing the door.
We're back at open session, February 26, 2018, study session.
Thank you, Augie. No action for the board was taken during the closed session. We're gonna continue talking about security at the courthouse now that it doesn't deal with specific personnel or contracts. So, but I mean, for example, Augie, or Angie's office, she could go into a physical change where she doesn't have such a large counter area, and I mean, I'm not saying this is the way it could be, but there could be plexiglass or glass in a slide through. There could be other things, and I mean, those are decisions that have to be made by the specific office holder. For example, Augie, I don't think you were interested in that at this
Yeah,
point.
we serve two different clientele.
Right.
For the most part.
But individual offices could be modified and that would supplement or make things more hardened or secure.
Offer additional protection, yes.
Right.
Yeah, and like you said, that's up to each individual department. We'd be more than willing to
Stand the cost.
to see what we can do
Right.
to
And,
work with them. And I guess I'm still confused on armed security versus an armed bailiff. I mean, we had a bailiff for years.
Yeah, but they're just there
Only for a trial.
during jury trials.
That's the only time they were
And
ever
the
there.
judge really don't want an armed bailiff in there.
Okay.
My
So you're
advice-
saying civil trials are probably a point where the security is necessary also because you get a contentious divorce or
Some
whatever.
divorce stuff is
Yeah.
kind of the one concern.
Before we make any definite decision, it might be wise to wait and see what the other courthouse like ours is doing for security.
And several people, judge, state's attorney, office holders, came together and talked about this, and the sheriff said he was gonna go out and investigate certain things, which that is one of them, and then we'd have another meeting in a couple of weeks and talk about this. but it's important that we all know what's being talked about, not just one or two of us,
Right.
so that everybody has their input. So, you know, one of the offices like probation could almost be handled like the judges, but then again, Augie's office, which is the other, not extreme, but the other way they do business, might have different needs. And I think we need to be flexible on what we're doing, but head in a direction which, number one, helps to guarantee some security and some more feeling of well-being in the courthouse while we head in that direction, and I think that's what we're trying to do. Is that
Right.
okay?
What's the status of the guy that came into the court or into the jail? I mean, what's eventually gonna happen? Is he gonna be out again, or?
He's in
I know where he's at
mental
now,
hospital right now, but I don't know, I mean, he's gonna have a court date, but he, you know, they could come
bail out.
and post, I mean, they could post his bond today,
Right.
that once he was done at the hospital,
He's
they
done,
could,
who's out,
you know, he could go home.
yeah.
Which part of his condition of his bond is, he's not to return to the state of
Yeah,
Illinois,
I mean, yeah.
except for court, which, of course, that
Mhm.
worth no more than the paper
Right,
wrote on, so.
Right.
It's a little late after stuff happens.
yeah, I agree.
Well, if
But
there's a real security concern, you're right. The easiest thing to do is control entry point, which
Right.
the only thing for us is the elevator.
Yeah.
We could have a mass.
Yeah,
mass
and I'm
cast
still,
on that issue, but
I get hesitant on that because the courthouse is for the you know, it's for the
Oh,
people of the
yeah.
county. I hate
Yeah.
making it hard to get in and out.
That's the catch
How's Charleston get by with one?
Well,
situation?
you know, lots of people do things I don't agree with,
Yeah, I
that's,
know that.
you know, whatever.
I think we're, to answer the question, investigating is being done,
Mhm.
and we're doing things, and the decisions will be made over the next few weeks and months, and hopefully we'll be smart enough that we continue to review so that if things need to be changed, that we change them when they need to be changed.
I'm just curious, if you put cameras at all the doors, and you had it where someone had to buzz to get into any of the upstairs doors, would that be a real problem?
if they're like the cameras at the shelter, yes, that would be a real problem. You're right.
We don't have a computer there anymore. We have no computers, no.
I mean, you would be in charge of the one next to you, I suppose, maybe, or whether you would entertain anything like that.
Could
Of course, most of them, though, you're standing there at the door, I mean, you're standing right here, and you hit the button, and
like a school.
Just
Right.
like school.
Well, you get the Matt Lauer button at your desk. I'll even get that for the front door. That'd work.
That's two. Third one,
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
what's the bad side of that?
well, I mean, it's certainly something
That's
to
controlling
consider.
entrance.
There certainly are a lot of options to consider, and we don't want to.
That would be the least invasive, I think, as far as if you're gonna start putting things in the courthouse for security, just, now you're probably gonna have to change those doors. I don't know. I mean, those locks don't seem like they're very high speed. I mean, I could be wrong.
You're right. They
You gotta put them on.
But that could be monitored by the jail staff, and I guess they could control it from there.
You start putting out, bulletproof glass and steel framing, A, it's extremely expensive, and B, if we're kind of retreading on our, trying to keep our courthouse looking somewhat, and I realize that's not at the expense of safety, but something to consider at least, so.
Of course, just not to give too fine a point, if I'm trying to get in the courthouse, and you buzz, and somebody comes in, you just follow somebody in.
All right, sure.
It's the same with the school.
Have somebody come
You're
out,
gonna
you grab the
do-
door, walk in.
They want to
There's
get in.
nothing you're gonna do that's gonna be perfect. If they want in,
They're gonna get in, yeah.
But
Stop
if
all-
you got a camera there, you're watching. That second
I've
guy
done
coming in.
this for years. I've sat at a desk and looked at cameras of people, and how do you tell if a guy's a
Right.
shooter or not? You can't tell.
Right.
And the people that shot all those Amish kids, that guy delivered milk there for years. They let in, then you kill them all. I mean, how do you can't,
Oh, I
you
agree.
can't look at things like that because you can't be perfect. It's just not gonna happen.
Somebody who wants
Get in, they will get in.
damage, will get it
You wanna
done.
get it
See,
done.
we tried that, tried to tell kids, don't let anybody in you don't know. But we've had guys go around that they didn't know, knock on the door, and the child will always open that door for an adult.
Yeah.
So, you
Well,
know, you
look at
can't,
families.
nothing's foolproof.
A lot of the harm that's done to families
Yeah.
is done by family members.
People that didn't have,
Yeah,
most of it.
so
A bunch of crazy
there is
people
no
in school, I know
magic
that.
bullet, no pun intended, to solve this
You
issue.
know, he's not gonna know who, he's gonna, somebody buzzes, he's gonna let him in, he doesn't know people. It's the same way with all of us.
Yeah, you're not gonna prevent
You
something
know,
from
if
happening.
we have to do the best that we can do, and
That's
then
what we have.
let the chips fall with it.
And one
That's all
thing
you can
about
do.
cameras, if something does happen,
Yeah,
you've
At
got
least 3
proof
minutes.
after, you know, yeah, I realize it's after the fact, but
the cameras in the buzzer are a
it does
good
make
idea.
that,
If you can get the cameras up within 5
Most
years,
shootings would take place within 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
sometimes we don't get those
Yeah.
cameras.
Especially the guns they have.
That would be a thing you want right away, wouldn't it, if you did it? I don't know what the expense of that stuff is, that's
It's
gotta
not,
be,
it's not prohibitive,
it's surely cheaper than what the other
and
options.
it certainly could be a priority.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
It's just an idea.
he'd be fine.
You can read between the
I
lines.
am, I'm trying to be nice as
Okay,
well.
me too.
Don't hurt yourself.
3.
Things are being looked at. Things have happened. We now have a person starting at the courthouse tomorrow. Is that right, Jeff? That-
I think that's a good, I think it's good.
And so things are happening. Things
Just
will
a presence.
continue to
At
happen.
least people know we have them there, just like at the hospital, they know we have security now, so.
And it's
we don't
not
have
a
the
set
same problems.
schedule. It is a rotating schedule so that somebody can't figure out what we're doing when, okay? Yes,
After
sir.
that meeting the other day, I went across the street because I was concerned about the treasurer's office and supervisor assessors, because from time to time,
Oh,
they
yeah.
have
People come
Sure.
in irate.
irate. And,
Especially,
Yeah, I'm not real happy with them either.
but anyway, I talked to both Don and Dina, and they had some concerns, and we talked about some things, and I told them to be thinking of some things, and we would be back in contact with them and see what we could do to kind
yeah,
of
we
help them
can't
out.
forget them over there.
Right. And I know I talked, last week they had there was a deputy on duty all the time, and I mentioned to them that they could go across the street and, check on them every once in a while.
Did he?
Mhm.
Just to make
Did he?
it, okay, good.
He said he was going to.
Yeah,
and if it's not a perfect solution there again, but if we have somebody on security in the courthouse, if that office could have a way to notify them quickly.
they do.
You know-
They have panic.
Okay, yeah, that's 30 seconds across the street. Now, I recognize 30 seconds can seem like a long time and all that, but it's not a bad system.
Augie also has something he can tell you about that they're doing with the phone systems.
Yeah, the question came up in our meeting about how do we communicate, and the phone system is not I don't think our phone system is not capable of doing what we want to do. So therefore, I took the liberty of setting up a WINS alert
Notification.
system.
Right.
I had Jill come up, and we're setting up a courthouse and annex group that you get your text alerts when there's an emergency, whether it be a bomb threat or active shooter, whatever the emergency might be. And for those that want to participate in receiving those notifications, I'm in the process of gathering names and phone numbers. And then we're going to have Jill come in and train us all so that anybody can make that alert system work. Of course, there'll be some other people outside of the courthouse that will know on the list, and it's just a way that, and it'll be able to go to the phone and or their email
They
account.
go to the police department.
It'll go
the
to the police
sheriff's
department,
office,
the sheriff.
Everything.
Yeah,
Can you have the city in?
That's what I
that's,
said.
yeah, absolutely. It's unlimited.
Yeah.
It's just like this weekend, we had a EC alert, we were under a boil order.
Right.
Same kind of, and
So
then,
you can have a list, and I think it was excellent. I mean, it certainly seems to be more than appropriate and a good idea, and if there's something we can do later that would refine that further, but it's a start.
I thought it was be proactive instead of reactive. And then
We
we've got,
commend you for that.
so now we have the silent, now we have the alarms at the desk, and also.
Which is probably a little bit better than the other thing. Because if alarms start going off where the action is, or,
Well, and the phone system, as far as we can, it still is, you have to pick it up and then it's like make an announcement throughout the department store.
right, and
You
that's
know.
what this one might be preferable anyway,
Right,
okay?
right.
It wouldn't panic, and, well, it might panic the person getting it, but at any rate, I think it's more than appropriate. Thank you. Anything else on security this morning? I think it's been a good discussion. Dan?
Not much. Andrew's still upset that the doctor will not release her to come back to work. Says she can't be around animals. It's kind of hard to,
Well, that's all I did.
animal shelter without being around animals. She's also upset. Did she call you about her computer missing?
What?
Yeah, Ross, she has a computer problem, and according to her, Ross came out and took her computer, and she hadn't got it back last time I heard, so.
Is there footage on the video camera?
Somebody should have called me right
I
away,
told her to. This was last week.
instead of having it come up like this.
Yeah, no, so, I'll contact her again.
No, I'll just call Ross now.
Well,
Okay.
I told her to call you, because you have more authority with Ross than I do, so. I'll check with her again today.
Must be like a father figure.
We also have a new member of the health department, but it's not official yet, but
It'll be on actually, I think I mentioned it
it's
last
from
time.
Christman, so it works out very well.
Kathy Lynch, she's the
One in North
administrator,
County.
administrator from the
So,
Pleasant Meadows.
She's supposed to be really good, so.
She's a very, very nice,
Right,
competent person.
right.
So they're very happy to have her come in, and
Mhm.
it will be on the agenda at the March meeting to approve her,
Yeah.
if you will, please.
But I'll check on computer again, see if she has her computer back.
Well, he probably thought he had all the time in the world since she wasn't there.
Yeah, but still got paperwork.
And she's got to sit on the computer since she can't work with the animals.
Yeah, I know that's what she's gonna do.
I adopted a cat from you the other day.
Oh, did you? Which
Yeah.
one? You didn't take the Siamese, did you?
No, it wasn't the two that are inside. There
Oh,
was
okay.
3 of them out back, and I took the mother, and someone else came and got the 2 little ones.
And
so.
I talked to Linda, she's doing an excellent job.
Oh, I'm sure she
She's
is.
really, and she has some help too, some volunteer help, so.
I see every day, well, when I get by there, especially in the morning when I'm out at ESDA, they're walking back and
Right,
forth.
right.
Okay.
So everything's running well, so.
John? Augie? Jeff?
No thing.
Carl?
I have a question for Jeff when we get time. I don't
No,
know
they
if-
could do it right now.
Are you short a deputy at the sheriff's office?
There's a position that's gonna be open, yeah.
Gotta make a comment on Devin, is that possible?
Yeah.
He's coming back, right?
No.
I
Not
heard he didn't-
necessarily.
Heard he didn't pass the, state police testing.
Really passed it, but, you know, something come up after, I mean, he was in the academy, I don't know, a week and a half.
Okay. So he's not coming back to Edgar?
Yeah, nothing.
I think that's, I get in trouble for
premature.
cutting off debate on personnel issues, but
Yeah,
it's personnel.
okay.
And that's a decision,
I
the
just wondered.
sheriff hasn't made a determination on that, is that correct?
Right.
Okay. It's
Okay.
just a rumor, so,
No, that's fine.
you know how rumors get started.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, I'm looking at
I have a pretty good idea.
No, there's too many sheriff deputies work at the hospital on security and police department. This was actually police department, wasn't sheriff deputy.
Phil?
Nope,
You ever go say anything?
nope,
Derek?
only one in support.
Is what-
Nothing.
The, I assume, since I got
I
a
don't remember what
text
committee it
message
was.
from Tom that
Besides yours.
the light has been delivered, because they were gonna start on it last Tuesday, supposedly.
Tom never calls, he never writes. Apparently you've stolen him from me.
No, I just,
Yeah, last I heard they were waiting, it was missing, it was, the beacon was missing, it had been shipped to Taiwan or something, so apparently they've recovered it.
I look every night just to see it, and it's just not, I used to be able to see it from my house, and
I
I
can see when I go by, it
So-
never even.
haven't seen anything yet.
I had a custom order, I had my initials actually put in it, so it's like the bat signal across the sky. It took a little longer to put that up.
Well, at least it's your initials and not mine. I don't want to go up there every time it goes on.
Instead of a bat, it has a D. For Dan or Derek,
Then I just show up and just wait and no one's ever there.
you'd look good in the cape though.
Yeah, you would.
You'd wear it well.
The tights, yeah.
I'm wearing those right now underneath my slacks.
Oh, boy.
That's 3.
Alright, see you guys later.
That's 4, yeah. 5.
I'm just hanging on here.
Let's see. The accountants have been working on our audit, and it's going, I think, fine, isn't it? I mean, they were getting ready to wrap it up the last I knew. I've stayed in touch with Joe, and we had a letter, an engagement letter they wanted to update, and I did not sign it because it had a blank on it, and they're supposed to, a blank cost not to exceed or something, an estimate. And so I did not sign it yet, but supposedly they're supposed to come up with a new one. Don seems to be fairly happy, and they are, the way it's proceeding with the changeover to the accrual. Like I said, I think Don sees weaknesses and strengths, but he's had fun, and maybe funds. He's shown a great deal of interest, and I think he deep down has kind of enjoyed the challenge that it presents, if you will. But that's all I have. I haven't, yes.
I was gonna circle back around, I didn't think of that,
Please.
but on Thursday, we sat and did listened to proposals of 3 engineering firms
Oh, good.
for our guardrail project, and then after sitting through those, we got together and selected one of the firms for that project, so just so
Thank you.
everybody's in the know on that one.
Good, I'm glad you're
I
involved.
learned lots of nerdy engineering terms and acronyms, so I really feel like I'm in the know now.
Are you an expert?
You gotta remember,
Are you an expert?
they got so many, it's hard to CSC on the need.
I need to see you afterwards.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
It's kinda like being in school.
I need to, I keep, we've been trying to get him some tickets for the last, at any rate,
Are they free?
no,
I gotta work.
it's tomorrow night,
I gotta work.
but that's another issue. Is there anything else to come before the meeting today? Yes, sir. Oh, I thought,
No, I was getting on him for looking at his text.
although, or can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
John seconds. Derek made the motion.
No, I didn't
No.
know.
All- Oh, Phil did, sorry,
was
Phil,
Phil's
Phil
credit.
made the motion, sorry.
Only guys fit.
Had you guys really touchy about that stuff.
I don't do it often, I wanna get credit.
All those in favor
Didn't have to
signify by
sign.
saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
You
nay.
have to sign.
Thank you, guys.